Welcome to KAB News. I'm Connor Smith along with
Ben Kitchen.
Adam Yusuf.
We will now get into the news.
Friday night, January 9th, George Zimmerman, who in the past was arrested and charged with second-degree murder of Trayvon Martin, was arrested for aggravated assault with a weapon in a domestic violence case. He has been denied bail. According to his booking record, Zimmerman was charged with aggravated assault and is currently on a no bond status. The sheriff's office said the next step in the process is first appearance. At the time, the judge may address his bond status.
In Paris, there was a shooting at 11:30 a.m. on Wednesday. According to the French newspaper Le Monde, gunmen dressed in black and wearing bulletproof vests forced their way into a building, 2 doors down from Charlie Hebdo, asking where to find the magazine. They then headed to the correct building, where they killed an officer on security detail. Officials say they later encountered a Charlie Hebdo cartoonist who was on her way out of the building and demanded she let them into the office. Once there, she was told to enter a security code to open its fortified door, according to the newspaper. The gunmen barged in during a lunchtime editorial meeting, separating men and women and calling out the names of employees they intended to kill. By the end of the attacks that occurred in Paris, a total of 17 people died, including an officer.
United Airlines is being sued by fired flight attendants after they did not want to board Flight 869 due to graffiti on the fuselage saying, "Bye-bye." United Airlines refused to ground the flight according to the 26-page complaint, and the ground crew only checked the auxiliary power unit, which is located near the graffiti. They insisted that it was only a joke and no further inspection must be done. The flight attendants still did not want to fly in the plane until a full inspection was complete. So the flight was canceled because there was not enough crew. With the amount of missing and crashed planes in the past couple of months, like Malaysian Airlines Flight 370, the flight attendants feared that it may be some kind of act that would threaten their lives. "I was scared, I was frightened," said Lamb, who is one of the flight attendants. "I have flown as a flight attendant for a total of 24 years, and I have never seen anything like this." These 13 flight attendants were fired in October for insubordination. They then got an attorney and are now suing United Airlines for not taking such a possible threat seriously. In the face of this kind of threat, an airline is required to actually deplane the passengers, get them off the plane, and do a security sweep of the plane. "They didn't do that," said David Marshall, the attorney for the flight attendants. Lamb released a statement saying, "I have no regrets at all. If this happens again today, all over again, I would have done the same thing. Any flight attendant would have done. This is our job." The flight attendants are now asking United Airlines to return their jobs to them and even asking for back pay and compensatory damages.
Sub-zero wind chills readings stretch as far south as Georgia and Alabama. On Thursday, as cities all over the eastern half of the country flirted with record-low temperatures in the most punishing blast of Arctic air this season, at 6 a.m. Eastern, it felt like 2 degrees below zero in Birmingham, Alabama, and 0 in Atlanta. It felt like 7 below in Roanoke, Virginia, and just below freezing in Orlando, Florida. The wind chills in the Midwest and Northeast were downright brutal. 25 below in Madison, Wisconsin, and 36 below in Caribou, Maine. Cold alerts covered almost the entire country east of the Mississippi River. More than 180 million people are.
I'm here on Air Force One, just leaving Detroit, on my way to Phoenix. What we're doing is we're doing a little preview of the State of the Union. There are a lot of things I want to talk about, and I figured why wait for 2 weeks. Let me start describing what I hope we can accomplish together in 2015. On Friday, I'm going to be going to Tennessee, and one of the things we're going to be talking about is education. I think everybody understands it is the key to success for our kids in the 21st century. But what we also understand is that it's not just for kids. We also have to make sure that everybody has the opportunity to constantly train themselves for better jobs, better wages, better benefits. And what I'm going to be talking about in Tennessee is, first of all, what a great job Tennessee has done in all kinds of education reform. But what I'm also going to do is announce a proposal that I'm going to be making to make sure that community college is accessible for everybody. Put simply, what I'd like to do is to see the first 2 years of community college free for everybody who's willing to work for it. That's right, free for everybody who's willing to work for it. It's something that we can accomplish, and it's something that'll train our workforce so that we can compete with anybody in the world.
Obama recently said he will propose 2 years of free community college for American workers. Part of what the White House says is an effort to make community college as universal as high school is today. The White House expects 9 million students to participate and save up to $3,800 a year for 2 years. This will replace the cost of nearly $70 billion. Though there are questions about building capacity at the nation's 1,100 community colleges.
New information has been released on the hacker group Lizard Squad. They are responsible for DDoSing, which means distributed denial of service, multiple online gaming services like Xbox Live, PlayStation Network, and Steam. These attacks have been happening for a couple of months, but it was reported last week that 2 of the main members of the hacker group were arrested. 22-year-old Vinny Omari was arrested by the United Kingdom police, and 17-year-old Julius Ryan Givamaki was arrested by Finland police. Omari explained that he was only a spokesperson for the group and that he does not have anything to do with the attacks. Givamaki, on the other hand, was very upfront with his involvement in the attacks. Omari was only in jail for 4 days, but Givamaki is still in custody. Authorities had figured out this week that the hacker group was using hacked routers to DDoS the online services. These routers sent a bunch of phony requests to the online services, making it impossible for actual gamers to get on them. Lizard Squad confessed their motives for these attacks, which they explained was a commercial or publicity stunt to sell their DDoS services. With 2 of them in custody, the group might become quiet since they do not want to be arrested. There have been no attacks since the big Christmas DDoS on Xbox Live and PlayStation Network.
Were fatally shot and a relative wounded in a shooting at a used car dealership in Houston, police said. A man was taken into custody after the shootings on late Thursday morning at Immaculate Auto Sales, but had not been charged. A mechanic had found the bodies of the brothers, Jesse and Tony Contreras, who were co-owners of the dealership, inside an office with 2 gunshot wounds to the head. Tony Contreras' 20-year-old son, also shot in the head, was rushed to the hospital. Houston police said they don't know the motive yet, but they believe the men were targeted. The dealership, which handles repossessions and late payments, had received many threats due to the nature of its business.
Trying to predict the gender and race of members of Congress is like trying to predict who would win a basketball game between the 1996 Chicago Bulls and the 2015 New York Knicks. The 114th Congress, which gets to work on Tuesday, is on the most diverse in America's history, comprised of nearly 20% women and just over 17% of which are non-white, which means, of course, that 4 out of 5 members of Congress are white and 4 out of 5 are men. Also, 92% of Congress is
A business owner in Kansas was killed in an attempted robbery at his gun store, but the shop's 2 owners also shot and injured 3 of the 4 suspects, police said. The violence in Shawnee, Kansas, southwest of Kansas City, broke out just after 2 p.m. local time when 4 men tried to rob She's a Pistol, a gun store and shooting range that offers self-defense courses geared toward women. According to a statement from the Shawnee Police Department, the store's owner, John Beaker, 44, was shot and later died. The statement said his wife, Rebecca Beaker, suffered minor injuries, according to police. The owners who had fired on the suspects, but 2 of them fled on foot. 3 of the suspects were shot, including 2 who were in critical condition. Police are unsure who fired first. Police found 2 suspects suffering from gunshot wounds inside the store and caught the remaining 2 suspects, one of whom had also been shot at a nearby home. All 4 suspects are in custody, said Shawnee Police Department Major Dan Tenney.
2 sisters were charged with the murder of their brother in White Springs, Florida home. The 2 girls were 15 and 11 years old, while the brother was 16 years old. According to the 15-year-old sister, the brother had beaten her and locked her in her room. The 11-year-old sister, oh my god, anyway, start over. Two sisters were charged with the murder of their brother in White Springs, Florida home. The two girls were 15 and 11 years old, while the brother was 16 years old. According to the 15-year-old sister, the brother had beaten her and locked her in a room. The sister later convinced the 11-year-old sister to unlock the door so she may leave. The older sister knew that her parents had a pistol in their bedroom, but the door was always locked. With the help of the 11-year-old sister, she used a knife to take out the window air conditioner from the outside of the house and entered the room through the window. She grabbed the pistol and loaded it, proceeded to her brother's bedroom, and shot him in his sleep. The older sister gathered money and belongings, then left with her younger sister. These three were not the only ones at the house, though. There was a 3-year-old sister who was also there but was left at the house. The parents of the children were out of town on a tractor-trailer haul. When the parents left for these hauls, the 16-year-old brother was in charge of the house. As soon as they got news of what happened, they quickly turned around and returned home. The parents are being charged with child neglect, which can receive a sentence of 15 years in state prison.
A man who stabbed a woman more than 20 times outside a Northwest suburban movie theater said he wanted to kill her because she annoyed him, according to police. Lake County Sheriff's deputies were called to the Century Theater at 21600 West Field Parkway in Deer Park about 8:45 p.m. Thursday, where they found a woman suffering from multiple stab wounds. A statement from the sheriff's office said, "The victim, a 24-year-old Vernon Hills woman, was stabbed more than 20 times. She suffered lacerations to her face and neck, as well as both lungs being punctured," police said. A short time later, police arrested Daniel J. Dion, 18, of Des Plaines, who was treated at another hospital for cuts on his hand and then arrested. The two worked together at a Deer Park Quality customer service and sales call center. He had allegedly arranged to meet her to see a movie, then attacked her inside her vehicle in the parking lot of the theater. The injured woman was able to escape and run into the lobby of the theater for help, the statement said. Dion told the detective he woke up in the morning with the intent to kill Kim because she annoyed him, police said. Detectives told NBC Chicago's Katie Kim the suspect said he was thinking about killing someone for a while, and today it was going to be her. He was charged with attempted murder, aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, aggravated battery causing great bodily harm, and aggravated battery in a public way.
That is it for today's news on KAB Network. I am Connor, signing off with
Ben. Adam.
Good night, everyone.